Okay, for this mini lecture, I want you to be aware of the importance of paying attention to your writing style, and also some common grammatical errors that I think a lot of us are aware of them, but then we do it anyway. And I just want to impress upon you, not only for your college classes, but also out into the professional world, if you are presenting your writing in a way that ignores, um, easy grammatical constructs, or ignores conventional spelling, you're not going to have a good time with the outcome. So while what I'm saying is going to be maybe redundant to an extent, pay attention, because I feel that the more you are aware, the more of when you sit down to write, that you keep in mind that you need to be aware of making these errors so that you can catch them, instead of handing them in with errors that really detract from your writing. And that's what happens. It's a detraction. The first one is very simple. It's not really a rule, but it is a generally followed construction. Okay, so that's this. Spell out numbers under 9, or 9 and under, and 10 plus, you actually use the numbers, right, in number form. So that means when you're talking about having, 1,000 or 500, something like that, you are supposed to spell it out. And then any numbers that are above 10, we look for the numerals, okay? So pay attention to that. And actually, when you start reading newspapers, etc., you will notice that when you see 2 perpetrators, you're not going to see the number 2. You're going to see 2 spelled out, TWO. So this is what the world is looking, the English-speaking world is used to, and you are too. You just maybe have not paid attention to it. So do that in your papers. Another thing is to pay attention to proper punctuation. We all have this, there's plenty of examples where in English, if you do not punctuate correctly, you are going to have the incorrect meaning. So if we look here at the first sentence, I saw a teacher who cares. That means one thing. The next one obviously means another thing. I saw a teacher. Who cares? Okay, same group of words, but you need to pay attention to the punctuation. Okay, so the next thing here is when you're actually writing, be aware of these things. The first one is cliches. Been there, done that. White as snow. It's just cliches in your writing mean nothing. They've been used so many times that the reader just kind of glosses over it, as you would. You want to be as original as possible in your writing, and you want to strengthen your writing. And one way to do that is to avoid cliches. Another thing that I see a lot as a writing teacher is repetition used incorrectly. You can use repetition, well, you should use repetition maybe in speeches or something like that. But when you're writing a short paper, I've seen students, they just repeat needlessly, and it's really jarring. It's hard to read. Something like, I gave an assignment once, a quick kind of essay writing, and I said, if you had $1 million, what would you spend your $1 million on? And several students would write, like, if I had $1 million, I would blah 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 blah. If I had $1 million, I would. If I had $1 million, and then it was like such nonsensical repetition. It's either the person is not sure of how to structure an essay correctly, or they're trying to pad their writing in a way that makes it look, you know, pretty bad. The next one here, pay attention to this. In our academic writing and our professional writing, we spell out common symbols, A and D, not the ampersand. There is also the text speak, which you really have to be careful of. Do not put any, you know, you, as in you, the person, Y-O-U. It is not just the letter U. That can be, that's very, very annoying and amateurish. And it makes you look like you're not thinking at all about your writing. So be aware of that, you know, the casual text speak, which cannot carry over into your more formal writing. Another thing, again, too, with more formal writing is things that are too casual. Word usage that is too casual. If something is $1,000, it's $1,000. It's not a grand. That's casual writing. Television, again, that would be the same thing. TV, no, spell it out. Cause is cause and effect. That's an actual word, not cause because you mean to say because. Nowadays is a word, but it's just a kind of casual word. So, and those are just some examples. I'm just trying to show you, choose your words carefully, and don't have your formal academic writing look as if you're writing a friendly email. So you want to stay away from that. Another one that I see way too often is sentence fragments. And it's very simple. Sentence fragments are an incomplete thought. And each sentence should be a complete thought. Sentence fragments are very jarring. Again, it just, you read it and you go, well, what is this person, you know, how is this person thinking? Because their thinking is not coming across clearly. So, for example, here, because his car was in the shop, period. And then, you know, maybe there's another sentence. Well, that right there, if you look at that sentence, because his car was in the shop, what? Because his car was in the shop, what happened? I don't know. It's incomplete. On the flip side of that is a run-on sentence, and that is just a sentence that goes on and on and on, or it has more than one idea within it. So if we look at this example here, my favorite Mediterranean spread is hummus. It is very garlicky. Is a run-on sentence because you're telling me that your favorite, you know, dip is hummus, and you're telling me it's favorite because you like garlic. But you need to have some kind of conjunction within there that's forming these, that's connecting both of these ideas together. So use conjunctions, and that's the mnemonic for using conjunctions, fanboys, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. You know, those are the connecting words. Or you can separate your ideas into two separate sentences. So be aware of that. Another thing, in formal writing, again, contractions. You should spell out everything. And as stiff as it sounds, that is the accepted conventionality. I am, I would, I will. Okay, or whatever other contractions that you might form, not I'm, I'd, I'll. Okay, so spell it out. Just try to keep that in mind. Another thing that I see every once in a while is this incorrect usage of possessives and plurals. Possessives take an apostrophe S. If there is no apostrophe there, it is a plural, right? So Kim's car. So Kim owns that car, apostrophe S. If you take that apostrophe out, it literally means the two Kims have a car. There are more than one Kim. Okay? So again, something that to be aware of. Another thing that is not horrible, but something that you don't want to do too much of is the use of prepositions to start a sentence. You can But if you continually do it, it's going to weaken your writing. If you start every sentence writing so this, so that, you know, it just doesn't sound right. Another thing is to be aware of, be more specific with your writing. Don't write things and say, you know, it was good, or, you know, pretty or something. Use the words, okay? Expand your words, be more specific. Homonym errors are something that drives me out of my mind. It happens so often, I think I'm going to poke my eye out, or both of my eyes out, like Oedipus, because it's just so aggravating. You know the difference between these words. If you don't look them up, use them correctly, okay? There is a possessive. There, they are, is a conjunction. There, E-R-E, means over there, okay? The two, it's and its is another one I see all the time. It's with an apostrophe means it is. And so if you can read the sentence, it is, then you know which one to use. Its is a possessive, this one. Okay. Oh, and here's me being a little devilish. What's the difference? What's the difference between knowing your shit and knowing your shit? Think about it. Okay. Here's another one. Don't rely on spell check. Okay, and this one's kind of a little cheeky too, all right? English spelling can seem like a maze, and so that's homonyms, right? It's the same sounds, but the words are spelled differently, and so you can check it out. There you go. All right, those are the correct, how to correctly spell the words, and you can test yourself out. Rewind and test yourself out. And then the final thought that I want to leave you with is here. Again, about the English language, and I mentioned it just a moment ago. The English language has a lot of words, and we have words that have different shades of meaning, and you want to try to get the best word to enhance your writing. You don't want to write good when you can get a better word. If the word is, it's positive. If the word is satisfactory, both of them different shades of meaning, okay? Splendid is different than excellent. Superior is different from honorable, okay? Find the right word that is going to fit, and don't just use a simple word. Where did I get these words? I just very simply went to an online thesaurus and I typed in good, and those are some of the words that came up. So there's always tools that you can use to try to also enhance your vocabulary. But be cautious. Don't use words that you have no idea what they mean, because you might have an incorrect meaning going on. Okay, so those are some of my tips, and be the first class that I've ever taught in my life that does not make some of these mistakes. I have not had a class yet that has not, you know, done a homonym error or spelled the numbers out. They always make mistakes. Be the first class that will not make these mistakes. Okay? All right.